Let's listen to these words by Paramhansa Yogananda ji from his whispers. It's a demand for fervor in divine love. Teach me, O Spirit, to love thee as wholeheartedly as the miser loves money. Make me as attached to thee as the drunkard is addicted to wine. Teach me to cling to thee as erring ones do to their bad habits. Teach me to be as attentive to thee as a mother is to her child. Teach me to perform my duties diligently with my attention fully riveted on thee. Teach me to love thee as the worldly man loves his possessions. With the first love of true lovers, teach me to love thee. Again, a joy to be with all of you this morning. Thank you for making the time, effort, and we'll all tune into this subject a little more deeply today. And yeah, many greetings. So today's topic, how to turn human love to divine love, or how to spiritualize human love. Also, I'll just try to zoom out a little bit in the terms of saying that all these thoughts, all these feelings, we all are human beings, we all have feelings. So this is a very important subject because in this aspect that the feelings are an integral part of us. Because feelings are such an integral part of us, we have to figure out what to do with it and how can we transmute it. And because it's all feelings, it's not only when I'm saying just a romantic love, but also all feelings like you share with a friend, a beautiful memory or beautiful incident. But how sometimes when we get attached, somehow that feeling gets drained, or sometimes due to attachment and other things, the how can we more spiritualize it is the topic. So I'll take this topic from this thread. So first, I would like to read to you something. A sloka really. This is from Bhagavad Gita, and we'll take from here. So Lahari Mahashaya ji, when he met Babaji, and this incident happened where Babaji said to him, to Lahari Mahashaya ji, as he was sending him out to teach these teachings, he said that repeat to each of your disciples this majestic promise from the Bhagavad Gita. Swalpamasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Swalpamasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a little practice, even a little bit of practice of this religion will save you from dire fears and colossal suffering. Even a little bit of practice of this religion will save you from dire fears and colossal suffering. And how many times has this proven true in many lives? I'll share three incidents. We'll start off with the Yogananda ji story in this case. In this case, Yogananda ji in autobiography has shared this very beautifully. This is when he and his dad were in a different town, and his mother was in a different town making preparations for the marriage of her eldest son. So the preparations were going in full swing, and they had to travel the next day, Yogananda ji and his father, to meet his mother. And suddenly in the night, early dawn, he gets this dream where his mom appears, has a vision in which she says that, come to me if you have to see me the last time. And he wakes up his dad and he says, can we go now? And his dad just submisses it or thinks that this is just this may not be real. And then finally in the morning, they get this telegram, mother's health is very ill, please come. And Yogananda ji and his dad rushes off to the next available train, and they are in Kolkata now, or in the place where her mother was, and to find his mother has left the body. For him, his mother's was this such for all of us. We know how mother's love is such a pure one, and how much we all depend on it. And so when he lost it, when he was not able to no more have his mother's presence, I'll read out to you from Autobiography of Yogi, the book. Father and I returned to Bareilly. This is after the crematory rites for the well-beloved, their mother. Early every morning, I made a pathetic memorial pilgrimage to a large shioli tree which shaded the smooth green gold lawn before our bungalow. In poetic moments, I thought that the white shioli flowers were strewing themselves with a willing devotion over the grassy altar. Mingling tears with the dew, I often observed a strange otherworldly light emerging from the dawn. Intense pangs of longing for God assailed me. I felt powerfully drawn to Himalayas. And Yoganandaji continues to tell that years passed before any reconciliation entered my heart. Storming the very gates of heavens, my cries at last summoned the Divine Mother. Her words brought final hearing to my separating wounds. She said, "It is I who have watched over thee life after life in the tenderness of many mothers. See in my gaze the two black eyes, the lost beautiful eyes thou seekest." Again, linking this sloka, how this little bit of practice, but Yogananda ji's level was such that he could bring down Divine Mother's presence with his reassuring touch, which is example for all of us during this painful circumstance, or this heartbroken circumstance. And now I'll jump to one more incident. This is of Naswami Devarshiji. He has shared this in his book, the Kriya Yoga, the Spiritual Awakening for the New Age. There's a chapter called Feeling from Human to Divine. I'm going to read out from it. He says that he'll share a story here in this book, how suffering can be transcended with Kriya. He's touching on this aspect here. Devashiji shares, when I'm speaking in the first language in his words, when I lost my wife of 25 years to cancer, I discovered that all of my lofty spiritual philosophy could not heal the mixed emotions of my all too human heart. We have all experienced or will experience the loss of a loved one. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the emotions that come up. Grief, sadness, perhaps old regrets or hurts, received or given, or the wish that one could instead live happily ever after. I found that I could not philosophize my agitated feelings away. Dwelling on them also wasn't helpful, though all too easy. I knew that suppression was not the answer. Yet the downward pulling feelings were so compelling that they became a nearly constant burden, ever taking over my meditations. See, Devashiji is sharing with all of us the secret again, what he did when he lost his wife. He continues, much as I was tempted to try to push my grief away, I understood from other experiences that the only way out was up, somehow to transmute the human feeling into divine feeling. Daily, I began during my Kriya practice and at the other times offering that human feeling of grief and its positive component of human love from my heart to God. The results did not come instantly. Even now, I continue to work on my progress. In the end, persistence in working with the feeling rather than pushing it aside gave results that far exceeded my expectations. Rather than the grief simply going away or just moving on, as some well meaning friends told me would eventually happen, that grief became transmuted into a divine love and a much purer soul connection. It has become one of the greatest gifts of my life. Again, here Devashji has shared how he did it or how this path helped him do it, that this became a great opportunity. to transmute, and to become much more closer to divine due to this feeling. Okay, there's one more incident I'll share now. This was shared by a Guru Bhai. So I'm giving you all these three different types of examples. And in this case, the Guru Bhai was, this person shared that this person was serving at the center in Ananda, was already a Kriyaban, and also had a full-time job, was serving in the weekends. And what happened was this person was in a relationship, or like the other person. And at one point, this person proposed to other person, sharing his or her feelings. So I'm not using any gender because this can go both ways. So this one person shared to the other person all their feelings, and the other person, seeing through it, this person rejected these feelings. And the other person, now what happens in the world when someone rejects their human love, all this heartbroken feelings, they go into depression, or they can go into some people eat more sometimes to hide away their sadness, sometimes get into drugs or some other things to take away their sadness. But this person, somehow in this person's life, the situation was like that the work had this intense new project that came up, and this person had to put all the mind into it. And also during weekends, this person had the center, Guru Bhais, and all. This person was also continuing to meditate daily morning and trying to, like Devashiji said, trying to somehow give everything to God, whatever best they can do, even if their mind was filled with these thoughts of love or grief of this person and not being able to spend more time with the other person. And this Guru Bhai then later shared that the other person had called this person maybe after a few weeks. And then what happened was really interesting, because this person asked, "How are you doing?" And this person who was heartbroken said, "No, I'm doing okay." "You're doing okay?" Then the other person's voice was a little surprised, because this person said, "Are you doing okay? What do you mean? When I had my heart broken, I could not move on for years. How are you able to, even after a few weeks, say you're okay, or you're able to get along with your life?" And this person could not share much, because the other person was not on the spiritual path or could not explain more. But then in that person's heart, this person was thanking God so much. Thank God that I did not have to go through all that wild things that people have to go to, because I have this practice. I have Guru Bhais, I have spiritual family, and I have your God and Guru's protection. Again, coming back to the sloka, even a little bit practice of this religion can help one from dire fears and colossal suffering. I'm just asking all of you here, is that not somewhat true? Whatever time you're on the spiritual path, even what all problems have come through, and what would have happened if we did not have this understanding and this protection of God and Gurus, because there's a lot of grace involved. So whenever I'm saying, again, like Devarshiji shared, I'm just not trying to give you a philosophy cannot solve your problems. Even when you lose your loved one, all this philosophy which I'm sharing won't help. But what will really help if that inner communion with that God? Because in Swamiji's life, he also shares this incident that at one point he had this person as a personal secretary, I think, arranging all the meetings, and he's so much dependent on that person. But this person astonishingly just left the job without even telling anything. And this person was a good friend of Swami Kriyananda ji. So he could never understand why did this person do it. He tried to understand, okay, she wanted to do this, or he tried to rationalize it. But somehow in his heart, he could not still give it away. But only in meditation, when he felt that divine love and bliss and joy, he was able to finally feel compassion for her from that level. So there was grace needed to reach that state. So a lot of prayers, and we have to do our best during these hard times when these things happen, because you can't like philosophize things, but then you have to do your best and try to offer yourself up completely, both the human aspect of love as well as grief, to God. And then when you experience that divine love, you will be able to, in that state, forgive that other person. And then Swami Kriyanandaji was able to forgive that person. This was in the early years of Ananda. And then when he called her up, then he was able to feel compassion that what she should have gone through to let go of a friend like this. So many times, also in our own lives, whenever people hurt you, this is again I learned from Devarshiji, that whenever people hurt you, just know that people are suffering much more in their hearts to express their hurt to you. So next time a person hurts, just you don't, instead of reacting, just feel sympathy and send out more prayers to them. Because think of yourself, when we give hurt to someone else, how much hurt we ourselves should be experiencing, that we can't even control it, but we are sharing it with others, this hurt and pain. So in the same way, try to see this as a great opportunity to send them prayers whenever this happens. And also, now coming back to this topic of feelings, and many people think the feelings like grief, sadness is all in your head. But in this book, again, in this chapter, again, Devarshiji goes more deeper. It says it's all linked with our heart. As you all know, there's this heart chakra and this all these feelings, energy is all linked here. And somehow it's all, we somehow think feelings don't exist, but they all exist. And they also, like Patanjali's definition of yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. What is yoga? Yoga is neutralization of vortices of feeling and chitta. Also, the feeling, like Shankaracharya ji, he explained, or his Satchit Ananda, ever existing, ever conscious, ever new bliss. Again, in a way, all these things are indicating that God is if God also can be more a feeling of bliss and joy, like 8 aspects of God. You all might have heard of it, of the 8 aspects of God, of light, sound, peace, calmness. There's also the love and bliss or joy. So also again, 2 of them respond to the feeling aspect. So God is also a feeling. So in all these ways, it's coming true that God is a feeling. So whenever the tough things come, what happens in our life? We try to close our hearts. Many times we have heard these things. When people are heartbroken, their hearts get closed, and it takes many years for them to heal. And many people, like Devashiji mentioned in that story, many people tell over time it goes away. But what can we do consciously to offer up with? So, how to turn this human love into divine love, or how to spiritualize all feelings? All feelings. Yeah, how do we do it? So, taking this feelings aspect again and turning it within. So, I'll just give you all maybe few seconds. Just think of it. How can we spiritualize human feeling? Because feelings are such a essential part of us. Just think of it for a few seconds. Yeah. And I'll also share with you one more thing. There are 2 approaches on the spiritual path. One is you can reject the entire world, close the world. No, I don't want to enjoy good music. I don't want to enjoy good food, or I don't want anything. Or the other path, this path is very rigid. Some saints follow it. It's a valid one, but Yogananda ji or our spiritual teachers did not recommend it. But the other path is whatever you do, you see a beautiful sunset, then you look at it, you enjoy it, but also remember you just not only enjoying the sunset, but also remembering, becoming aware of that inner feeling of that divine joy within, and try to transmute it upward. It's very important because, again, again, about coming back to this thought of closing our hearts whenever big problems come. So closing our hearts is a great pity, is what Swami Kriyanandaji shared. But also not transmuting this feeling, because there are 2 ways here. You can close your heart, or you can open your heart. And you can open your heart and you can enjoy all these things. But again, not transmuting it is again one more great pity, is what he shared. So it's important for us to keep our hearts open, but also important for us to transmute it. Like in Gita, there's also one more sloka which mentions, I'm going to paraphrase it, that it says that whenever all these our senses energies draw us outward, we get drained. But what does the wise man do? Wise man directs all these sense energies into this everlasting or ever flowing peace and joy and adds on to it and doesn't get drained. So, what it's coming to tell us is whenever we have these beautiful sunsets or beautiful feelings, whatever it is, human love, anything you're making love or any such feeling, like eating a ice cream, sunset, anything you're doing, the only way out here, what Master is recommending is also to see it as something of within, of that divine joy and bliss which you experience in meditation, and to try it inward and upward and send it upward. Otherwise, you all will experience it for yourself, then you'll see all that human feelings will go outward. Then you feel the opposite of it. The love, the grief, all these opposites will come to be in play with that. So it's very important for us to keep diving deeper into meditation, morning and evening. Also, there's one more story which Yogananda ji shared. He shared that there was a beautiful couple who used to come to his classes. If Yogananda ji shared that they were beautiful, just think of it. He would not say just like that. So this couple was really beautiful, and many people envied them because they were on the path. But Yogananda ji said to them, "Many people envy you, but I, with lot more greater love, I love you both. But what is happening is, after a year, I'm going to come back to this place. I'm going to check on you," he said. And they were following this teaching. So after a year, he comes back. And by the time when he came to see them both, the inspiration, the enthusiasm, the love in their faces had drowned. Many times this happens with the human love. After an year, somehow the romance goes away. And he asked them what happened, and he saw their state where there was a small child, and he was doing two jobs, trying to just meet the ends, and there was just focusing on so much worries. Then Yogananda ji got there, and because of the greater love he had for them, he gave them a real good shaking up, is what he said. And he told them, you can't keep focusing on the worries, and if you find a way to continue to meditate and to feel that joy within, and then to appreciate and to transmute all of these human joys up within, only then you the enthusiasm, the love, and you'll be able to live happily. And it happened so with Yogananda ji's blessings, the things got better in the same way for all of us. I think somehow to keep transmuting this human love into this divine feeling, to divine love is so much very important in our lives. So we'll try to continue to do this. This was just a maybe a small teaser. Hopefully, I was able to share in a good way so that it was came out well, so that you can also try to use this inspiration to dive deeper into our teachings, to dive deeper in your meditations into the divine love, and try to also share that divine love with everyone you meet, because it's so much important in the world today. We all are linked with so many people. When we are able to experience being that joy or love and try to share that joy with all the people we meet, it will make such a difference in their lives. And somehow to always remember, it's not why does the human love sometimes doesn't work, because we focus on a particular time or a concept or a particular moment. But if we try to universalize it, that's the same thing which Swami Kriyananda ji shared, difference between a second grade art and a first grade art. Second grade art is like any song or poem, just focused on a particular incident. But the first grade, the higher version of the art will be when you're able to take that small incident, but also universalize it, try to offer it up to the divine. So, yeah, I think we are almost time now. And this is good. Such a joy that I could be with all of you and share this time together so that we could dive deeper into these teachings and offer to Divine Mother all our love together. So I would now ask you all, maybe for let's take 30 seconds, close our eyes. feel the divine love in our hearts. Also continue to feel all the love for our friends we have, loved ones, the griefs, all the feelings which are linked with the heart. Trying to offer up everything to the divine at the spiritual eye. And also sharing our gratitude for the blessings and these teachings through which dire fears and colossal sufferings have been avoided. Also trying to share the blessings that we have received with the entire world so that they all can realize the inner kingdom to this eternal joy and peace and bliss, which we are now understanding, learning, experiencing, and which we are growing in. A tiny bubble of laughter has become the sea of mirth itself. Now let's rub our hands, and as we send out these 3 ohms of blessing, also think of everyone who needs healing, to this whole world which needs it right now, and for ourselves. Shanti, Shanti.